Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is calling for investigations into Robinhood and other trading apps for manipulating the market. Now, this is all related to what happened, or what I covered yesterday, where you had this Reddit page called WallStreetBets with over 2 million users essentially recognize that there were big billionaire hedge fund managers investing into GameStop's failure, so betting that GameStop's stock would drop. So they counteracted that by buying into GameStop, increasing the price to around $300, $400 now, from $4 just a few months ago, essentially bankrupting these big hedge fund managers. And of course, hedge fund managers, the wealthy, CNBC, those that protect them, are not happy about this. So instead of just allowing the market to go as it does, they are now purposely manipulating the market to limit these investments. So the headline here from CNET: Robinhood, TD Ameritrade restrict trading of GameStop, AMC stock. Also others, I'll get into that in a second here. As Isaac Saul writes, Robinhood is no longer allowing users to do anything but close out their GameStop or AMC positions. Hard to put into words how outrageous that is. That is much more acutely the definition of manipulating the market. So it's perfectly fine, apparently, when billionaire hedge fund managers manipulate the market, but when it's everyday individuals, all of a sudden, we got a big problem on our hands. We got to restrict their ability to do so. More here. Motherboard writing, more than half of all Robinhood users own at least some GameStop stock. They are now unable to freely trade it. The app is only allowing users to close out their positions. Vice writing here in a blog post, Robinhood confirmed that it has placed restrictions on several stocks due to volatility. Quote, we continually monitor the markets and make changes where necessary. In light of recent volatility, we are restricting transactions for certain securities to position closing only, including AMC, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, Express, GameStop, COS, Naked Brand Group, and Nokia. We also raised margin requirements for certain securities, the blog post read. This is obvious market manipulation. So now that the people have taken over and billionaire hedge fund managers are no longer in control, they're jumping in here to restrict what everyday people are able to buy. This is ridiculous. Now, I'm going to get, as you see, a lot of tabs here. Don't let this scare you. A lot of this is just reaction. I want to get to some reaction to how people are feeling about all this. But as the wrap writes here, AMC stock plummets 61% as Robinhood, TD Ameritrade restrict trading. So this has had a direct impact already on AMC stock, because they have limited the ability to buy stock in AMC. I don't know how this is legal. So this is why you're now seeing a call for an investigation. AOC tweeting out here, this is unacceptable. We now need to know more about Robinhood app's decision to block retail investors from purchasing stock while hedge funds are freely able to trade the stock as they see fit. As a member of the Financial Services Committee, I'd support a hearing if necessary. She goes on here saying inquiries into freezes should not be limited solely to Robinhood. This is a serious matter. Committee investigators should examine any retail services freezing stock purchases in the course of potential investigations, especially those allowing sales but freezing purchases. And you also have some support here backing her up. Rokana tweeting out, yes, AOC, we need an investigation into Robinhood app's decision and who influenced that. And this shows the need for a financial transaction tax on hedge fund shorting and SEC regulations on short selling practices. So right here you have two Congress people fighting to push for hearings into Robinhood and other trading apps over their decision here. Now, let me get to some other reactions as well. So Michael Saman tweeting out here, Robinhood likely planned before to block people from buying the stocks they wanted this morning. If so, instead of informing users of their plan, they let their app climb to #1 in the App Store this morning. Signed up 100,000 plus users and hours later blocked GameStop, Nokia, AMC, etc. So they allowed their app to, clearly this was done on purpose. They let their app get to #1 on the App Store, and then, only then, did they act to limit the ability for people to purchase stock in GameStop, Nokia, AMC, and others. I mean, there is a lot here ripe for investigation. Now, going on, Rod Breslau here tweeting out, after delisting GameStop and AMC, Robinhood has gotten over 100,000 one-star reviews in 1 hour on the App Store, now set with a one rating. They deserve it. So this is the other piece of it. I'm not sure if any other tweet referenced this, but you can't even search GameStop and AMC in the Robinhood app. You try and search GME or AMC, nothing shows up. Clear market manipulation. And users are doing what they can with this, and at the very least giving this app now a 1-star rating. So some other reactions here from around the web based on what has been going on. Anna Kasparian tweeting out, so market manipulation by Federal Reserve pumping money into failing banks and corporations is okay, but Reddit users rallying GameStop is wrong and must be regulated. The entire stock market is disconnected from reality. Funny how quickly the financial press cries for hedge funds. Jordan here tweeting out, 2008 financial collapse. You should have considered the risks. Student loan debt, you should have considered the risks. Credit card debt, you should have considered the risks. Hedge fund makes a risky bet and might go under. It's not their fault. Shut everything down. David Packman here tweeting out, it's funny to see debates about whether the GME pumpers genuinely believe in the company or are cynically buying the stock. Since when is that the standard that anyone applies to stock transactions, including people like Kelly Loeffler in the early days of COVID, who, in case you don't remember, bought and sold stock depending on the information that she was getting based on the impact of COVID-19. John Idaroli here tweeting out, so can we start talking about a wealth tax again? Sean tweeting out, looking forward to the actually only Wall Street is allowed to do what Reddit just did act. Emma Vigeland tweeting out, Reddit WallStreetBets was more effective at putting Wall Street greed and recklessness in check than the federal government has been in decades. Absolutely. Girthworm Jim, pretty bad lefty here, tweeting out, the GameStop situation is probably going to lead to more regulation of stock buying than all of the insider trading from members of Congress. Absolutely. Squawkbox here, I'm going to tweet a reaction to this. Squawkbox, of course, on CNBC, tweeting out, as we look at these new technologies that are available, it's important for regulators to understand that manipulation is manipulation, whether it's happening through a new technology medium or it's happening through traditional mail. Response to this? Ryan Grimm saying, when vulture funds ran a multi-million-dollar campaign to drive the economy of Argentina into the ground to profit off junk debt, eviscerating an entire country, nobody on Wall Street called for regulation. When they did the same to Puerto Rico, these people were silent. Eat shit. I think that's pretty clear. Ryan Grimm, exactly right. Cenk Uygur here tweeting out, what was amazing about GameStop's situation today was how all of the reporters on CNBC were the first line of defense for the wealthy and powerful. Journalists are supposed to challenge power, not defend it. The national media in this country is broken. And if you check CNBC right now, I doubt there is very little I bet there's very little criticism of what these trading apps are doing. And the only criticism you may see is from people calling into the show and debating with the hosts. But generally, the way CNBC presents all this information, it is always from the perspective of the incredibly wealthy and powerful, and never from the perspective of the average individual or the average trader.